Never Torpid fam, YouTube fam, it's Torpid here, and I'm back thanks to RoxxyBolts, because RoxxyBolts, Twitch.tv, RoxxyBolts, the Demonology Warlock, the current gladiator. He has taught me Demonology Warlock so that I can teach you guys. I'm really grateful for his help. He's not only a talented, high XP arena player, but he's also a good dude, so I really highly recommend his stream and his content. You're going to feel uplifted when you go to his stream, and most importantly, you're going to be learning something and having some laughs along the way. So make sure you guys check out RoxxyBolts.tv. I'm trying to make a bunch of YouTube content, and that YouTube content is based around helping you guys. So let me know what you want to see next in the comments. Let me know what was missing out of this guide that you want to know about. And if it's not in this guide, again, go to RoxxyBolt's stream, because he can cover everything for you live on stream. As always, before we get into things, if you want to keep it never Torpid in the game and out of the game, almost said in the guide, you gotta want it for yourself and for others, guys. So make sure you're doing good things out there. Help the person beside you. Let's get in this guide. You guys are gonna absolutely love getting all these pets out and being the Demolock that not only has an army of pets, but a ton of utility and CC to go with it. Okay, so someone in one of my guides was like, hey, could you tell us the state of a class? And I thought, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So here I am, taking your feedback and giving it back to you. 10.0.7 Demonology Warlock. Talk to Roxy. This is what he thinks. Right now, at the time of this video, Ret Paladin is currently over-tuned, but that's not going to last. Once Ret gets tuned down a little bit, Demo Warlock will be on the rise in S-tier class, the best Warlock class. It has Immortal Strike, it has Peels, it has damage and stuns. You're going to hear about me talk this later, that Demo is one of the only specs that can constantly cast fears that aren't going to be broken. It has the globals to spend. So overall, Demonology Warlock is S tier, and it's going to be even stronger once Ret gets a little bit tuned down. You guys probably know what I mean if you're watching the video within the next week. Ret is insane right now, but don't worry. Demo Warlock is insane, and all this information you're about to learn is going to help you capitalize on how strong Demonology Warlock's going to be for the time to come. Okay, guys, so when we talk about stats, gear, enchants, tier, it's all here on the screen for you right now. You can see RoxxyBolt's gear, and you can see his enchants, and I'm going to show you right now that he's using the 4 set, okay? So with the 4 set, it's important to note that you get flat damage on the 2 set, but you can see there on the right, Demon Bolt has a chance to make your next Hand of Gul'dan instant and deal 150% increased damage. That's extremely strong, because you're going to hear about it when we get those Gul'dans down. We get imps, and the imps are going to help us out. You're also going to notice if I scroll down here, so you can use that information right there, that his stats are 30% haste, because you're going to learn about this later, but I'm going to tell you now. Again, the Tyrant scales off of you. So you're stacking haste because that's going to help with your Tyrant as well as all of your abilities and all of your kits. So if you're not able to get the gear that he has, you're going to be striving towards getting that haste gear and getting the certain enchants that he has. So keep that in mind. Everything's here for you. Make your character as strong as RoxxyBolt, and you'll truly be dominating out there. Okay, guys, Demonology Warlock. I'm going to take you through the basics of what you need to understand. First up, our abilities cost mana, and we're using mana, but don't worry about that too much. What you want to take note of for Demolock is there's things called soul shards. At the top left, you can see I have 3 crystals, or under my character in the middle of my screen, 3 crystals. Those are my soul shards. Now, Demolock generates soul shards and spends soul shards. These 2 abilities, I've spaced them out, generate soul shards, and these 5 are going to consume them. And the first thing you want to note is you're going to always have a Felguard out as Demolock. We're going to summon our Felguard. It's our biggest minion that we can keep permanently to have. So you always have Felguard. We're going to talk about his action bar later on in the guide. Now, Demon Bolt and Shadow Bolt both do some damage, but they're not your primary source of damage, which we'll get to, but they generate soul shards. So Demon Bolt generates as a cast, and it's going to generate 2 soul shards. You're going to see I'm going to go from 3 in the middle of my screen to 5. And then Shadow Bolt is the same kind of cast time, but only generates 1. And then once I have 5, we're going to walk through the damaging abilities. Hand of Gul'dan is going to cause a little meteor type thing to come down from the sky and consume 3 soul shards, but it could be used at 1, 2, or 3. And depending on how many soul shards you use, you summon that many imps. You see I've got a couple more imps now. I consumed 3 shards because I had 5. It summoned 3 imps. The other abilities that we're going to walk through are summoning minions. So Hand of Gul'dan summons your imps and does damage. Dreadstalkers is going to summon your Dreadstalkers. You can see the 3 of them right here. It's so cool. And then you have the Grimoire Felguard, which summons a second Felguard to attack the target. And then I just need to go ahead and get another Demon Bolt out here. So let me just cast 2 Demon Bolts here. Get 4 shards. Vile Fiend is going to summon this really cool looking Vile Fiend right here. And then we're going to summon our Tyrant, which is our monster cooldown. He's right here. He's absolutely massive. And you can just see how much fun Demonology is going to be. I can't wait to play it myself. So these 2 generate the common points. These 5 are summoning minions and doing damage. And you're going to see how they work together. Now, 2 abilities I want to touch on are Power Siphon, which sacrifices 2 imps. Gives you a free Demon Bolt proc, so you can get 2 shards. So it's Power Infusion, Demon Bolt to get 2 shards. That's kind of the combo. And then we have Fel Obelisk, which you put down. And this Obelisk gives you and your pets 20% attack speed and 20% casting increase speed. And your Tyrant's a caster, so that's massive for your Tyrant, your big CD. But all your pets attacking faster is huge, and then so do you, okay? But this can be killed by the enemy team. We're going to talk about it later. Lastly, you have a bunch of curses. The first curse, Doom. When Doom expires, it gives you a soul shard, okay? It does some damage, and it gives you a soul shard. Curse of Tongues reduces their casting speed. Curse of Weakness reduces their attack speed. Curse of Exhaustion reduces their movement speed. And you can press Amplify Curse and use any of these abilities, or sorry, these 3 abilities, not Doom, these 3, to make it even worse for them. So we could make them go by 70% slower instead of 50 as an example for Amplify. If you understand those abilities and their basics, you're going to understand everything in the guide. We're going to go through the utility. There's so much more to Warlock, the CC, but we're going to talk about that later. If you have the basics now, you're going to be good to go. Let's get into it. Okay, so really quick, these are the talents that we're going to go through in today's guide. But here's what I want you guys to do. Don't Alt-Tab and copy the screen. If you didn't know, at the bottom left of the talent tree, you can click the Import button, and you can import this text. This text will be in the description below. Copy, paste it in here. Name it RoxxyBolts TV. We love Roxy. Name it whatever you want, and then hit Import, and you're going to have the talents we're about to talk about. Okay, guys, so the first burst rotation, damage rotation I'm going to walk you through is Freecasting. When you're left alone and able to Freecast and you have enough time to get a very strong setup, this is what you're looking to achieve. Now, I'm going to take you through it and explain everything. Shadowbolts and Doom here represent getting your soul shards up. So with these 3 abilities throughout the game, you'll have your soul shards up. Then what you're looking to do is summon your pets. So we're going to summon the Vile Fiend. Then we're going to call in the Dreadstalkers. Then we're going to summon the Felguard, who's going to stun and do big damage. Then with Power Siphon, we're going to sacrifice 2 of our imps. And when we sacrifice those imps, we get a free Demon Bolt instantly casts. And then we're going to be able to summon more imps with Hand of Gul'dan and do damage. Get another Demon Bolt off, and then summon more imps with a Hand of Gul'dan. And after we've summoned the imps from 2 Hands of Gul'dans, and after we've summoned our 3 main pets here, we're going to summon the Tyrant. Now, when the Tyrant is summoned, he's going to extend the duration of all of the demons we just summoned. So we're summoning them first, 1, because he's going to extend their duration, so they're going to be cranking the entire time the Tyrant's out. And 2, with the talent down here at the bottom of our tree, Reign of Tyranny, our Demonic Tyrant deals 50% additional damage, which is amazing. We love that. But what I want to talk about is the active imps we have out. Okay, they grant 1 stack of Demonic Servitude. And then active greater demons grant 3 stacks of Demonic Servitude. So Demonic Tyrant deals 7% additional damage for each stack of Demonic Servitude. So the Wild Imps are giving us a stack, and then the Greater Demons are giving us 3 stacks. And all of those stacks are multiplied by 7%. Okay, so we want all of our minions out so that our Tyrant extends their duration and so that his damage gets buffed by a shit ton. That's how the demons crank. And then the PvP talent Fel Obelisk, what it does is you can place it anywhere because the enemy team can kill it. Sometimes you'll want to, place it in the tent so they can't hit it. We're going to pop that after our Tyrant's out because what that's going to do is give us 20% attack speed and 20% casting speed. Now that works for us, but it works for your minions as well. And the casting time reduction by 20 is insane because your Tyrant is the only minion that's casting, and it's your strongest minion. The other minions are just going to be doing that attack speed and cranking, but the Tyrant cast speed is insane. And then, of course, you're going to be going back into your Demon Bolts and Goldans after you have this out, or cross CCing. So I just walked you through what it's like when you have free casting available, when you're able to cast those Demon Bolts and mix them with the Goldans and mix those in with your Power Siphon. Now, we've removed these abilities into double melee. So these are the abilities you're going to want to press into the double melee, and here's why. Doom and Shadowbolt represent, again, just getting your 5 soul shards. When there's double melee up in your face, sometimes pressing a defensive 40% wall is not enough. Sure, they're doing less damage to you, but do they really want to get off you? They might just train you anyway. So what you need is a way to get them off you, and by doing damage, you get them off you. So you don't have time to cast those Goldans. You don't have time to cast those Demon Bolts. Keep in mind with your inner demons, here, you're passively summoning an imp, and if the game's gone for a little bit, you've probably got a demon out fighting beside you. So your Tyrant already has a couple minions. Really quickly, if they're popping wings on you and you Unending Resolve, now when you do this go, you won't be able to be kicked or knocked back, so you'll get it off for sure, but we don't recommend resolving just to get this off, of course. So you're going to Vile Fiend, and then you're going to Dreadstalkers, and then you're going to my Soul Shard dropped. You're going to get your Felguard out as well. And once you have all these abilities out, you can see I'm at 20 stacks there on my Tyrant. You get the Tyrant out, and then you get your Fel Obelisk down, and then you can get your Demonic Strength going on the enemy as well. Now, I'm not sure why these guys aren't attacking. There they go. They're all sent in. They're cranking. Look at this mess we made with only 6 abilities. Now, again, in case you skipped the first part, Vile Fiend, Dreadstalkers are just summoning minions that are going to do damage. Felguard's going to come out and stun the target, and all of the minions you have out are going to amplify your Demonic Tyrant's damage. And when your Tyrant comes out, he's going to increase the duration of your other demons. When you put Fel Obelisk on the ground, what's going to happen is you and your Tyrant and your demons are going to get 20% attack speed and casting speed, and the Demonic Strength infuses your Felguard, and it actually really cranks. So this is a quick way to get the melee off if you don't have time to free cast. Okay, guys, so you just saw RoxxyBolt, but let me break it down what you did. I have to cover his chat cover. I didn't want to, but I think my camera here is the best so you guys can see the screen. It's going to be in a higher quality in a second. So the first thing he's going to be doing here, as I let the video play, is reenacting an arena. So the first thing he's doing is dooming 3 targets. Now, for the video, he has hit the PvP training dummy so that the damage is real. If you guys didn't know this, hitting the PvP training dummy converts you into PvP mode so you can take advantage of the higher pieces of gear. But what he's simulating here is having 3 dooms out, because in the arena, you can see at the bottom right here of the screen, these are his 3 doom macros, and he puts a doom on everybody so that when he's bursting and throughout the match, he gains a soul shard every time the doom ends. So what he's going to do is put his 3 dooms out, Shadowbolt to get his 5th shard, then he's going to get Vile Fiend and Dreadstalkers out, and then get a Hand of Gul'dan out and a Demon Bolt. And remember, guys, with the 4 set, sometimes you're going to get the free Hand of Gul'dan, sometimes you're not. So this could vary even a bit more if he gets a lot of procs. I don't think he actually gets too many here, but keep in mind that is a possibility, okay? So what he's doing with the Hand of Gul'dans is getting his imps out. And then he's going to sacrifice 2 imps so his next Demon Bolt's instant. But first, he's going to Felguard to get a stun off and get this Felguard out, and then follow it with a Demon Bolt, 1 more Hand of Gul'dan, and now Tyrant. And when he summons this Tyrant, those 3 or 4 Gul'dans he has and all those imps, their duration gets extended by 15 seconds. So does the Felguard, the Vile Fiend, and the Dreadstalkers. And now the Tyrant on the far right of the screen, you can see it's at 25 stacks there. is going to be hitting extremely hard. Once he gets his Tyrant out, he's going to go ahead and, he's going to put down his Fel Obelisk, which is this little green thing here, which is going to increase the damage of, the attack speed of the demons and the casting speed of the demons and your attack speed and casting speed. Now, where this is crucial is the attack speed is great for all your demons. The casting speed is great for your Tyrant and for you. This Tyrant right here is your only demon that's casting an ability. So it needs to be connecting with somebody that's not an LOS. And that's going to be a huge buff. It's like a mini Bloodlust for you and your pets. So the Truffy GCD, the add-on we use, spams the green thing. So when you see that, it's just the add-on interactions being weird. Then he goes into his Hand of Gul'dan spams, his Demon Bolts, his Hand of Gul'dans, and then he goes into a couple Shadow Bolts. And right now, his Tyrant is popping off, all his demons are out, and his imps, and he's going through the Shadow Bolt and the Hand of Gul'dans to keep those imps out, to keep that sustained damage up, and his shards. And you can see when he scrolls over his Tyrant how quickly it got to 1 million damage and how it was hitting for some 80Ks, right? When you're pairing these 80Ks on top of all that other damage from your minions and yourself, and you have a teammate in arena, you're really actually going to be doing unhealable damage. So that's the breakdown of RoxxyBolt's advanced guide. It starts with getting those dooms out, getting all your pets out, tyranting to extend them, and then going through the rotation and seeing what procs from your 4-set. Remember, PvP situational, you're going to have some downtime where you're CCing in between this. You're going to have some times where you're just able to do damage. So it really depends. You might need to be running away after you get some of these abilities out, depending on what happened. But in a perfect advanced scenario where you're able to just be unleashing on them, this is what you want to strive to do. And remember that this damage could be even higher if he had more minions out, if the match was already happening. But this is a great example of what it looks like to kind of get it out from scratch. In the downtime, of course, you're going to be playing to survive, and you're going to be playing to slow the enemy's cooldowns. Sorry, my thing just glitched out over there. I thought I might have went live on accident. So when you're playing to live and when you're stopping their CDs, you're also pairing it with damage. So we're going to talk about the CC and the utility in a minute. But let's dive into the DPS damage rotation you're doing in the downtime. You're going to be keeping your Doom, your Shadow Bolt, and your Demon Bolt rolling to generate your soul shards. You're going to be pressing Vile Fiend off CD, and how it's going to line up is your Vile Fiend's going to be ready for your first Tyrant, as you've seen. Then you're going to get one Vile Fiend in the middle, and then your Vile Fiend will be back up for your next Tyrant. And Dreadstalkers, you're pressing on CD because it's 20 seconds, so you're going to get a lot of these suckers out, and you're going to be maintaining your imps with your Hand of Gul'dan. Another trick for your downtime is you can mix in some Axe Tosses, and then mix that with Demonic Strength, which causes your guy to Blade Storm and Cleave, but do 400% more damage. Now, the reason you're not seeing the Demonic Strength in the other DPS rotation is because it has a high chance of breaking CC, and it's a little bit clunky in the rotation. But sometimes, depending on how it goes, you can mix in your Demonic Strength for that extra damage. But it's really nice in the downtime windows paired with your Axe Toss. Okay, guys, so we talked about two of the talents already. Fel Obelisk has been in the rotation all video, and we've had Master Summoner, which instantly casts our Dreadstalkers. Declining this guild invite, how many of these are we going to get? Who knows? The third PvP talent's a little bit interchangeable. So Call Fellhunter is going to give you a ranged kick. It's going to drag onto your ability here, and you're going to be able to use it to spell lock an enemy. Right now, we just had the Axe Toss stun and the Felguard stun that we've been talking about with the Mortal Coil or Fear. But you can use the Fellhunter CS into those double casters, and depending what you're playing with on your team, or preference, you can also choose precog into double melee. So when you're the kill target and double melee are on you, they're going to be trying to lock you out, and you want to get rewarded for that. So when they try to kick you, but you stop casting, you'll get a charge of precog, which becomes very scary. You get 15% haste and can't be kicked for 5 seconds, allowing you to get the CC or damage off you want to get. So you're always going to have Obelisk and Summoner, and you can swap between precog and Call Fellhunter, typically casters, typically melee, but again, preference. We want you guys doing what you find works best for you. The CC for Warlock is actually pretty straightforward. The first thing we've talked about is how time and time again, your Felguard, when spawns, is instantly going to stun the target. Okay, so we've talked about the Felguard and all the rotations. I'm going to take that off. Talking about the other CC, we have three groups. We have our Axe Toss, which can be used to CC the kill target, CC the healer. Maybe a mage is trying to polymorph your healer. You can axe toss to stop the polymorph. It's a ranged ability. You'll see here the guy's just going to throw the axe, and it's always going to go, well, assuming they're in line of your pet, it's always going to go off. You're going to Shadow Fury to peel. Okay, Shadow Fury's primary use is to peel your healer to give him an extra global. So let's say your healer is getting hit by Windwalker and Warrior, or these days Ret Warrior. You're going to be able to Shadow Fury to interrupt the Ret and Warrior at the same time to buy your healer that extra global he might need to survive. Then you're going to have your Fear. And now your Fear on Demonology Warlock is absolutely insane because Demo Lock, out of all 3 lock specs, has the most free globals for Fear, right? Your pets are going to be cranking into somebody, so you're on Destruction, for example, you have Immolate on a couple targets. Your Immolate will help break the Fear. But with Demo, you have all your pets cranking one guy, and you're just farming Fears into the other guy, so it's extremely strong. And then we have Mortal Coil, which is going to heal you, and it's an instant coil that shoots out and fears the target for a shorter duration, but instantly without having to cast the Fear. Next up, and I do think these count as CC, are your curses. So with Amplify Curse, you can amplify one of these 3 curses. You're going to be using Amplify and Curse of Tongues on CD versus casters. You're going to be using Amplify Curse and Curse of Weakness, slowing their attack speed versus melee on CD. And then in certain situations, you're going to be keeping up your Curse of Exhaustion to slow them as well. So obviously, if you're fighting another caster, no need to keep this slow up, but you can be weaving in these exhaustions onto the melee to keep them slower. Maybe you already have a Frost Mage on your team, so you don't need this global. So it's a little situational, but Curse of Tongues with Amplify into casters and Weakness and Curse into the melee. You're going to be managing the CC here. And again, if you want to see the CC in action, make sure you check out RoxxyBolts on his stream at twitch.tv/RoxxyBolts. Utility and defensives of Warlock, let's get right into it. First thing is create a soul wall for your team. Creating a soul wall allows you to click on it and your teammates and get a Hellstone, which is going to help them with 35% HP and you for 35% HP. But we're going to show you how in a second this soul burn affects all of our abilities. So just bear with me here. Health Funnel is going to heal your pet. He's already at full health, so it won't work, but it's important to keep your pet alive, and Health Funnel is one way to do that. As well as if they kill your Felguard, you need him back. Fel Domination gives you an instant summon to your Felguard, but you don't always want to waste this charge. It's a 3-minute CD. If you can teleport back, or if you can go somewhere across CC and just summon your pet normally, always prioritize that. Maybe their kicks are down, their stuns are down. If not, make sure you Fel Dom and get your pet back. The next thing is Demonic Circle. When you first press it, it puts a circle down, and then what you're going to be able to do is put that circle behind a pillar, hide with it, put it up top somewhere, and then you can repress this button to teleport back to the circle. And then we have our gateway, which you can summon a gateway, and when this gateway goes down, you and your teammates can click on it and use this to kite away from the enemy team. And you can also use this when you're stuck in some CC, like a Spear of Bastion. You can gate out of the Spear of Bastion, so you'll find some uses for this outside of teleporting. Then we have our Unending Resolve, which we've talked about a little bit. 40% damage reduction. Looks cool as AF when it's on you, honestly. Look at that. 40% reduction and immune to silence CC knockback. You can cast as much as you want during this. We also talked about the Fel Obelisk. You place this down. Remember, it only has 9k health. The enemy can kill it, and it's a mini bloodlust for you and your teammates. So make sure when you drop it, you place it behind a pillar or somewhere safe. It has a 40-yard range as long as you're close to it. And then Soul Burn. So Soul Burn uses a shard, but you're going to Soul Burn before you use all of these abilities. When you Soul Burn before the Hellstone, as you can read here, it increases the Hellstone by another 30% and increases our maximum health. So we're going to Soul Burn and Hellstone. It won't let me do it because we're at full health. Or we'll Soul Burn and Health Funnel. That'll channel tons of healing into our pet. Or we're going to Soul Burn, right? And we can instantly summon a gate. So now the gate has no charge with Soul Burn. We can Soul Burn and we can teleport back to our circle here. And when we do that, we gain freedom and movement speed. So if a warrior leaps and tries to charge us and root us, because we Soul Burn before we teleported, it keeps us alive. So Soul Burn and Fel Obelisk are the utility here mixed in with Fel Dom and Health Funnel. And then your defensives are a little bit of everything. Your Hellstone, your Wall, and your Kiting right here are going to count as the defenses for Warlock. It's all about moving around. It's all about positioning, dragging their DPS away from their healer, teleporting at the right time. Use this to your advantage. I forgot to mention your Dark Pact. Now, Dark Pact is a very strong defensive, but there's one really strong way to use it. It sacrifices 20% of your current health to shield you for 200%. Ideally, before that shield breaks, your healer's trying to top you. Now, you want a Dark Pact early. If your healer goes into CC, Dark Pact, because you're sacrificing 20% of your health to get that shield. So make sure when you guys use Dark Pact and you sacrifice your health to get the shield, absorbing the 88k, but I'm under geared, so ignore that. You do it early. Do not be afraid to press Dark Pact too early. It's almost never early enough. Okay, guys, so the pet bar is extremely important. I'm going to drag it to the middle of the screen and make it a little bit bigger for you guys, all right? Let's make that icon size a little bit bigger. So this is your Felguard's Pet Bar, okay? And now you want Fellstorm not always active because Fellstorm will break your friendly teammate's CC. So RoxxyBolts actually has Fellstorm keybinded, and he presses it separately. He does, however, have Legion Strike always up because as your Felguard is constantly hitting the same target, it starts to do a crazy amount of damage single targets. So we want these two abilities up, and then my Axe Toss has been dragged off, but your Axe Toss is usually on this pet bar right here. It's not letting me show you. And again, you don't want Axe Toss on your pet bar because you want to use Axe Toss as almost if it's not your pet's ability, it's your stun. But do keep in mind, your pet's the one who has to pull it off, okay? So that's the basics for your pet. Roxy does not keybind his attack key into any of his abilities. However, some people try to do that, so I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Okay, guys, so you probably came for the Unending Breath secret tech. Now, here is a top tip. It allows you to breathe underwater and increase swim speed. There's no water in Arena, but what it does against rogue comps is if anybody on your team gets in combat, but you haven't gotten in combat yet, you can put Unending Breath on your teammate and gain combat. That's right, not be sapped. Make sure you take advantage of this. Okay, guys, this is maybe the most secret tech in the entire world, so we've got to keep it down. Only the people from this guide are going to be able to see it. I'm looking around. I'm taking a look. I can't believe RoxxyBolts wanted to share this with you. Now, you guys know that they're going to try to shut down your Felguard. And when your Felguard is all the way over here, let me send him over there. Do you see him? He's all the way over there. Now, let's pretend that's behind a pillar, and I can't heal him. Your team can't heal him. They swap to him. Listen to this. By casting Eye of the Kilrog and then pressing Escape, watch what happens. Our pet's going to get teleported to us. Eye of the Kilrog. Then I hit Escape, and watch this. The Felguard TP's right to me. You don't believe it? I'm going to show you again. RoxxyBolts TV, guys. Check them out. There's no way anybody knew this. This has got to be the most top secret thing in the game. I have no pet around me. I'm looking around. No pet. Oh, they're killing my pet over there. Eye of the Kilrog. Escape key. My pet's safe. Never let your pet die, man. This guy's your bodyguard. Do not let him die. Take advantage of Eye of the Kilrog today. And make sure you thank RoxxyBolts TV. That's an absolutely massive tip to keep your pet alive, especially when a lot of teams are trying to murder it. All right, let's go through the macros that Roxy's included for us. Now, the first one, I'm going to open them all up so you can see them. The first one is an Axe Toss macro. He says you definitely need this, otherwise it gets a little buggy. So this is just a macro to ensure that when you Axe Toss the target, that it goes off. So you can see it's right here. Then we have Fell Obelisk. I called it Fell. What that does is when you press your Fell Obelisk normally, maybe I should show you guys that. That would be cool. When you press your Fell Obelisk normally, it actually has a little green spell that goes down. You see how I can place it? Now, high tier Giga gamers do both of these. Roxy wanted to at least have you see this and choose for yourself. Now, when you put this down, high tier players will try to kill it. So hiding it behind this house is good because then they need to run all the way behind the house. Sometimes there's so much going on that in your rotation, you can have this macro and you press it once and it automatically drops it at our feet. It's a cast at Torpid, which is my character. You'll put your character here, Fell Obelisk, and it casts it for you. So you can place it down, but it feels a little clunky sometimes in the rotation. So what he does is sometimes he has this macro where it just drops instantly, just gets going into his rotation. The next thing is your Soul Burn. Now, you're going to replace Hellstone with all of the abilities of Soul Burn. But for now, I just have Soul Burn and Hellstone, but you can do this with your Gateway, with whatever. And what that's going to do is it's going to consume our Hellstone with the Soul Burn, which we always want. Sometimes you could cast a Gate if you really want to. You can do some other things, but you always Hellstone with a Soul Burn to get that extra healing and that shield. So you backroll these two together. I can't really show it to you because it's going to use the Soul Burn, not the Hellstone, because I'm at full health. I don't know what you want me to do. Jump off the edge, not happening. The last macro, Weakness. It's going to amplify and then press your Curse of Weakness. So it's going to amplify Curse of Weakness to the target. You always want to be amplifying and Curse of Weaknessing off CD. So these macros, right here, these 4, are really handy for demo luck and really handy for every single gosh darn arena and rated battleground. Okay, guys, so this week aura is to let you know when your healer's in CC. RoxxyBolts wanted me to make this extremely clear. When you play Demo Warlock or Warlock in general and your healer is in CC'd, obviously that means they're going to come try to kill you. And if that's the case, you instantly want to port away. As soon as this healer CC shows up on your screen, it's totally fine to instantly teleport away, because if you know that you're the kill target and they're going to be coming for you, you want to get out of there and mitigate as much damage when your healer's not in CC. The best defense of a Warlock is using your utility to take as little amount of damages as possible. Just please teleport away. Trust RoxxyBolts. This thing pops up, you get to safety. Just some cool knowledge, a tip about your Tyrant, that your Tyrant is based off of your baseline haste. So you're going to see a lot of the times demo locks getting PI, and that's why that obelisk is so strong, because your Tyrant is going to take advantage of all the haste your character has. He gains your stats. So you can stack those together and be cranking with your Tyrant. And something I didn't mention in the other video, I just thought of it now, is make sure, not with your Tyrant, but with your pet, that you're letting your healers know to heal it. Keep reminding them, please heal the pet. That's just a great piece of advice. Okay, guys, for PvP add-ons, I've included a PvP guide below in the description to take you through getting a clean screen. The better information you have, the better you're going to play, and you want the right information, not a lot of information. There are 2 PvP add-ons that are not in the PvP add-on below. Big debuffs, which is going to help, if you don't have a good profile, see the stuns over top of the enemies. And Omni CC. Omni CC helps you track enemy kicks. So when you're facing a mage and a warlock, they both have 20-second kicks and they've both been used. You know you could free cast. So those 2 add-ons aren't listed in the add-on video I made, but the rest of the add-on video is going to help you get set up for arena and for rated battlegrounds. Okay, guys, so there's 2 add-ons that you're going to need for arena that Roxy wanted me to mention that are kind of hard to show you in the video, so you're going to have to listen closely. PartyPets Fix. So when you play Demonology Warlock, you're going to have your Felguard as your pet. And how Roxy described it to me is, in the arena, you have the frames, but for some reason, every once in a while, it bugs and it moves your pet to the bottom left of your screen. So if that's happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just trust Roxy and download PartyPets Fix. What's that going to do? What that's going to make sure your pet is all the way up there. And another really, really strong add-on, again from a bug, is when you're fighting a lot of these Beast Mastery hunters, these marksmanship hunters, and they feign death. Sometimes when they come back up, it bugs out, and you're not able to re-click on them, right? And so, because of that bug, they're gaining an unfair advantage. This add-on helps fix the feign death when fighting hunters. So this is good on any single class, not just demo. The PartyPets is good for your demo because you want to get your pet on the screen. So download these 2 add-ons. Hopefully you heard what I said, and you'll be off to a much better start than a couple other people, that's for sure. So the best races for Warlock. Now, I had a comment the other day that said, you covered a lot of ally races, but not Horde. So today we're going to do 2 of each. Starting with Horde, Orc is going to be the strongest Horde class because of the racial that allows them to reduce stuns. Now, it's going to be nerfed in the upcoming patch 10.1, but still remain an extremely strong option on Horde. Even with the nerf, it still saves you maybe almost a global of CC, which can make a difference. Second, and if you play Troll, it's not just good for PvP, it's good for raid. You get a tremendous amount of haste. Troll helps you stack up a ton of damage, so it's great for PvP and PvE content. And then on the left side, we have humans, which you always got to play the female version of the ally. You got to get that human. You know, this lady looks a little angry. Human, because you can run stun with the human racial and then have double DPS trinkets. So what that means is the human stun, Warlocks only really die in stun. So with the human trinket, you can get out of the stun. Now, when you run human, you are susceptible to being cross-CC'd with like a polymorph, and you won't be able to help your team because you can't trinket the poly, but typically that's okay because you're making up for it with double DPS trinket to absolutely crank. And then you have Dark Iron Dwarf, which has been extremely strong into Feral Druids and Assassination Rogues. What happens is, when you get a lot of bleeds on you or poison effects, curses, when you dispel those, you gain a tremendous amount of int, and that helps you put a lot of counter pressure on top of just dispelling those. So those are the top two from each side. All right, guys. So RoxxyBolt's top 3 comps right now as the video is being made. Number 1, it won the Liquid Tourney. Demo Ret Resto Sham, but I think that Ret is going to be nerfed on Tuesday, so luckily for you guys, this will not remain the top comp after Ret gets nerfed. Instead, what we're going to be looking at is, I want to copy and paste it for a little bit of suspense here. The top comp that he prefers is Demo Ellie with Resto Druid or Mistweaver. He also absolutely loves this comp, and I'm going to show you exactly the note that I took when I talked to him because I want to be open with you guys. He loves Demo Mage R Shaman or R Druid. It's extra CC and longer survivability with the Resto Druid, but the R Shaman like keeps them on the offensive the entire time. Here's what he said. It's hard to find good Frost Mages. Okay, so although we were recommending this comp, you do need a good mage to pull it off. He thought that was extremely important. So although I said this was the top 3, the Ret's going to be changing, and these are going to be the top 2 that you're striving to play. But keep in mind, Demolock is going to be S tier. It's going to be extremely strong in general, so you're going to be able to mix it up and play with a lot of things. We're going to go through an insane CC chain, but before we do, thank you for watching the YouTube video. I have to say this, I'm making these guides with awesome, talented people. I can't do it without them, but we're making them for you. So please take the time to sub to the channel, like the video, share it. If you want Torpid around, I need your help. I'm only here to try to help you guys, to give you some direction for a game that I'm passionate about with some awesome people. So if you want to see that, support the channel. It's truly the only way I can keep doing it. I'm streaming and creating YouTube content full time, so that's why we're coming out with these guides, and I'm trying to add as many things to my arsenal as I can to help you guys. So let me know what you need. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know if I'm on the right track. It seriously does make a difference, and it's free. Okay, it helps me. Now, let's get into it. Got something in my eye? And it's you guys. Thank you for being here. Okay, what we're going to do here, listen up. This is late into dampening. I mean, you could do this anytime, but a lot of the times it's late into dampening. You want to just finish somebody off. They've got no more defensives, right? No trinket, no block, whatever. You're going to Felguard, which is going to stun them. And while they're stunned, you're going to summon a Tyrant, and then you're going to re-stun off into Immortal Coil. So it's going to look like this. Felguard, summon a Tyrant. As this is about to end, Axe Toss, so it continues the stun, into Immortal Coil, and they're going to be CC'd for an extremely long time, right? That Mortal Coil is not going to insta-break, so you can stack your 1 stun with the DR stun into the Mortal Coil and really keep that guy with no trinket locked down to finish them off. Thank you guys for hanging out. As always, if you want to keep it never Torpid in-game and out, you gotta want it. A huge follow, Steez! Steez, we gotta follow live because I'm using my OBS to record. Steez, thank you for following everybody. I'll see you in the next one.